Feel the fire.
What's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? We loud and clear out there. Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation, man. I see y'all coming up in here, man. And good day, everybody. Good day. What's up, Beverly? Nappy, what's up with you? What's good with you, Nappy? AJ, what's up? Indian Summer, what's good with you? Jazzy, what's up with you? Shout out everybody up in here, man. Put this mic in. Testing. We loud and clear? Are we loud and clear out there? Shout out everybody that's coming up in here, man. What's good with you? Freezer, what's up? What's good with everybody out there, man? Shout out the whole nation. I'm here today. Like always, man, I've been very, very, very busy. But I definitely came here today to inform each and every one of my fire starters and anybody that come in contact with my channel that there is a major disruptive, situation that's about to take place here in America, y'all. All right? Now, for everybody that's coming up in here, man, I advise y'all to take heed to this situation, everything that I'm telling y'all. All right? I ain't never shoot y'all no bullshit that I wouldn't shoot myself, y'all. Shout out the whole nation. Let's put this disclaimer up because a lot of people are definitely deaf, dumb, and blind. As it says, this video is for educational purposes only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, and teaching. Give me 1 second, y'all. I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Shout out everybody up in here, man. We got the disclaimer up, man. All right, now, peep the game, y'all. As it has been a lot going on and a lot of distractions have been taking place, and no one has been paying attention to what's actually taking place right in front of our goddamn eyes. Now, once again, shout out the whole nation and everybody that's out there. All right? Because, like I said, it's a major, disruptive, possible, catastrophic event on the horizon, y'all. Y'all are hearing this right here first. Now, y'all could take this lightly or y'all could take heed to it. Because I can tell you one thing for sure, and two things for damn sure, and three things for damn sure, and for certain, I'll be getting me and my family ready, and this is why I ain't been here. That part. Everybody sitting around all distracted by this P. Diddy situation. Everybody is all distracted by this Tory Lane situation. Everybody is all distracted by these fraudulent ass escapees in that situation that's going on down there in New Orleans. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. Please stomp on that like button if you will. Shout out Kyra. What's up with you? I see you up in here. Smitty G, what's up? Shout out the whole nation. All right, cuz we about to put something up here. Do y'all know what's really going on? I don't think y'all do. All right? And like I said, it's been a lot of distractions taking place. As we all know, America, all eyes. Everybody hit the like button. Drop your fire TVs in the chat. Let me ask y'all the question. Right now, in America, all eyes are on what? What is America covering right now? Every time we turn the TV on, every time we turn the phone on, every time we scroll through our timelines, no matter what social media site it is, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, you would definitely see P. Diddy and the shenanigans, right? Now, like I said, no one is paying attention to what's actually going on here. Because while the whole goddamn country is focused on P. Diddy in New York City, so is some other evil individuals. Let me say that again. While the whole world is focused on P. Diddy and that situation in New York City, so is some other evil individuals. Now, for the ones who don't know, right before P. Diddy went to jail, y'all, there was a lot of things that were foretelling. It was a lot of things P. Diddy was foreshadowing. All right, and we're starting to see a lot of that he foreshadowed is coming to the light. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this last album he made. Like I said, man, this live here is for awareness, very informative information. We ain't here to play no games or any of that bullshit that they be doing upstairs, downstairs, next door, down the street, or around the corner. I'm here to alert my people and wake my people up. The last album P. Diddy dropped right before he went to jail. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. Please hit the like button, because this will be very informative. I can promise you this. because they don't want us to know what's going on the back end. So this is why they distract us with our culture and all the negativity that's going on in our culture, and they put it on the front end because they don't want us to know what's going on the back end. Now, right before P. Diddy went to jail, y'all, he got the key to the city. He was rewarded icon of the decade or some shit. He was rewarded all these awards, right? Not to mention the name of his last album, y'all. All right, I want everybody to pay attention here. The name of his last album was not only named the Love album, it wasn't only depicting the Red album. All right, he had a mini movie, also a song that went along with this Love / Red / Demonic album. And the name of this album was named Off the Grid. Everybody stomp on the like button. Okay? As you see the depiction on this artwork, it says Off the Grid, right? Shout out, Focus on the Truth, man. What's good with you? You see Off the Grid? As we see a whole bunch of red smoke, I guess we could say that's blood, because a lot of blood possibly will be spilled. But you see the helicopters in the background as well. And like I said, why the whole country is focused on P. Diddy and New York, I am hearing y'all from some very, very reliable sources. On the day of this verdict, y'all, on the day when this verdict come in. Now, y'all, this is all alleged. We don't want to get shut down by YouTube or anything like that, but I am here to inform my people as much as I can, because we've been seeing a lot of strange and weird things take place since this Diddy trial has came to the light. Not to mention, all right, shout out everybody up in here, this situation here. Like I said, man, y'all don't be fooled. Y'all don't be fooled. Because just so happens a couple of days before the trial starts, who do we see? And not only who do we see, look who's pregnant, right? But what's the chances of Cassie going into labor at the Diddy trial? Is anybody comprehending this? Remember, basically this whole situation with Diddy took off with the Cassie situation and everything that was going on with Cassie, right? So Cassie found a new love. Cassie found a new life. She just so happens to get pregnant. And when it's time to testify, she goes into labor at the Diddy trial, out of all places, y'all. Out of all places, she goes into labor at the Diddy trial. And like I said, she was doing a very good job staying undercover and not being seen, leading up to this Diddy trial. All of a sudden, when she pop out, the baby pops out. And not only do the baby pops out, it pops out at the goddamn Diddy trial. And like I said, what's the chances of that? Because none of that shit makes sense to me at all. Because we all know from the get-go, when someone has been through a traumatic situation like that, and they are 9 months pregnant, about to drop, why would they allow them to testify? You see, yo, we have to make real life matters make real life sense. They didn't think that that was going to be a risk to her pregnancy and a risk to her birth. Pay attention now. The things that Cassie had to go on a stand and allegedly relive why she's pregnant is enough alone for Cassie and her team to be like, okay, if y'all want Cassie to testify, we're going to have to do this on video or something like that, because there's no way I'm going to allow my client to come in this courtroom and she can drop this baby at any given time. And she had to relive all these tragic, heinous acts that she been through on the stand in front of everybody. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Which I honestly think, and I'm hearing from reliable sources, all right, that all that was also a play as well, man, because I'm hearing that Cassie was never pregnant. Now, this is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing Cassie was never pregnant at all. At all. But like I said, why this Diddy trial show y'all something here. Oh, I'm so glad they updated the StreamYard on these Android and iPhones. Check it out. Like I said, when Diddy dropped this album, Off the Grid. Now, he was also sending a subliminal message, not just so him, but allegedly the powers that be. Because like I said, there's so much going on right up under our eyes. Shout out everybody that's coming up in here. This is today's article. June 4th, 2025, 6 a.m. sharp. The U.S. grid attack looming on the horizon. Shout out everybody up in here. Hit the like button. Okay? A major cyber attack on the U.S. electrical grid has long worried security experts. Such an attack wouldn't be easy, but if and what adversary pulled it off, it'd be lights out in more ways than one. You motherfucking right. It'd be lights out in more ways than one, because a lot of people don't know how to survive without electricity. They got no survival skills. And this is the distraction with the P. Diddy trial. All right, like I said, America, all eyes in America is on the Diddy trial as they try to create a what? More distractions. Peep the distractions, y'all. I'm going to break them down. Peep the distractions. All this coming at one time. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Shout out the whole Fire Flame Nation up in here. Not to mention, y'all, like I said, they're working very hard to distract us, and they're doing a goddamn good job at it. All right, as also, nobody is paying attention, bro. They sleep. Shout out Angela. They sleep. I'm about to bust them in the head right now. No funny shit. They sleep. Because look at this here. Look at this here.
2013, a Silicon Valley electrical substation came under rifle fire in a coordinated and well-planned attack, causing millions in damages and nearly taking out power to Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Intel. In the 10 years since that attack, no culprit has been found. Was it terrorism or vandalism? We still don't know. Now, a new wave is targeting America's electrical grid. On December 3rd, 2 North Carolina substations were shot at, knocking out power to 40,000 homes and businesses. Then on Christmas Day, 4 substations were vandalized in Washington state.
All 3 happened in the middle of the night on Christmas Day, causing power outages. There's a good possibility they are related. We're going to be investigating to see if this was coordinated by a specific group of people.
While authorities search for suspects, what they really need are answers.
We are aware of other incidents that occurred in Oregon and southern Washington, as well as the incidents from North Carolina earlier in this wintertime. We're going to see if any of this stuff is related to that.
There are almost 79,000 of these electrical power substations all across the United States, connecting nearly 500,000 miles of power lines in 3 big power grids. Now, when these things were built, there wasn't much thought given to security, so most of them look about like this one, a rusty old gate and a chain link fence, safeguarding millions of dollars worth of equipment just inside there, like those ultra high voltage transformers over there, which are all custom built. That means that if they get destroyed, it might take up to a year to replace them. And that's causing the authorities to start to see this as a real threat to our national.
Okay. So I just wanted to give y'all a little pop before we go bang, because like I said, man, they're working so hard to distract us. As now, like I said, I done showed y'all the distractions with the Tory Lane. Showed y'all the distractions that's going on with the Diddy. The New Orleans escapee distraction. Like I said, everything that they are using for a distraction is a part of what? Our culture. So they know the type of people that they are trying to distract. Right? Not only that, they're out to distract another demographic as well. Because peep this, y'all. What's the chances of now, 23 years later, 24 years later, add that up. But anyway, we got TMZ now trying to say that there was a 5th plane on 9/11, y'all. Look at this shit. Check it out. As it says, 9/11, the 5th plane. What the government doesn't want you to know. No, motherfucker, you know what the government don't want us to know? was about to happen. And this is why they created this shit right here. Because we all know it wasn't no goddamn fifth plane. And why is TMZ out of all what? Hit the like button, strategic drop. Out of all platforms, why is TMZ doing this documentary? Why did TMZ release this on their channel? Why did TMZ pay for all the what? Marketing and promotion. How much money did they put into this bullshit documentary to distract the people? Because it says it right on the front of the goddamn shit. It's telling us it's about to be another emergency. If ones think 9/11 was catastrophic, this situation that's allegedly about to take place is going to be even more catastrophic when they hit the grid. All right? Because I find it very odd and very strange, everybody, that TMZ went all the way out their way and spent all this money and made up brand new narrators, y'all. Y'all should see this documentary. It is so full of shit. They created brand new narratives about what happened on that day. They created a whole new goddamn plane with a whole new goddamn story with passengers telling their story about this fifth plane, and we never heard of these people a day in our life. Ever. Chat, was y'all aware of this new documentary? Because, like I said, they are working very hard to distract us. Crazy work. Not only is it crazy work, y'all, peep the game. Remember, the 14 times Tory Lanez got chopped up, right? 14 times. And then we got the distraction. Also, in the midst of all eyes in America on the Diddy trial, we also have all eyes on Gene Deal on these platforms dropping these interviews. You notice how all this is coming out strategically at the same time, right? Pay attention. All of this is coming out strategically at the same time as Gene Deal continues to tell more lies, more lies, more lies, and more fucking lies. And just like I told everybody, Gene Deal know all this information all of a sudden, right? So why you ain't been reporting Diddy? Why you ain't been came out with these claims? Because you was bodyguarding the door. You was watching the door. You was making sure nobody go in and nobody go out, right, Gene Deal? You let people in the back door. You let people out the back door. That was your job, right, Gene Deal? Your job was to also protect the notorious B.I.G. that night, right? So why the fuck when y'all came out the Vibe goddamn what party, why you get in the car with Diddy? Why you ain't get in the car with Big? Why all the security guards in the car with Diddy? As we see the whole time, man, all the pictures that was taken of Big and Puff in LA leading up to that man's death, Gene Deal is in the background damn near of every goddamn picture. Every picture. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is it's a major distraction, man. All right? Let's show it. Check it out. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. I'm one of the best to do this. Ain't nobody paying attention. They're telling us. Do your research. All these other countries have been getting hit. All their grids have been getting hit. You think America grid ain't about to get hit? If you go right on Google right now, it'll tell us right to our face that our shit gonna get hit. And everybody's still taking it for a joke. You see this? What it say? Cybersecurity experts anticipate. Do you know what the word anticipate means? Waiting, plotting. Security experts anticipate a rise in grid cyber attacks in 2025. The threat is not just a future possibility, but an ongoing reality. And you see why. Like I said, when we make real life matters, make real life sense. The last album Diddy dropped was the one. Off the Grid. The Blood album. Because blood will be shed in the midst of this Diddy trial. Blood will be shed. All right? He's not in all red for nothing. The album is not red for nothing. He's not telling everybody, okay, that these grids is going to get hit for nothing. He's not telling everybody, yo, it's going to be off the grid for nothing. And like I said, it's going to be off the grid right in the middle of this P. Diddy situation. Because I am hearing y'all from some very, very reliable sources, bro. All right, y'all can take this how y'all want to take it. That in the midst of this verdict, in the midst of jury deliberations, this is a strategic drop. In the midst of this verdict coming back, in the midst of jury deliberations, as we've been hearing a whole lot about a mistrial and things like that of that nature. As we also see the lawyer for Young Thug comes out of the blue and start representing P. Diddy. But they are saying in the midst of this verdict coming back, and in the middle of jury deliberations, y'all, all right, that we are supposed to be having a major cyber attack on the grid. A major cyber attack on the grid, yo. All right, and this is why everybody in New York is distracted. You can't pay me to go to New York City right now. I don't give a fuck how many views or cash apps or super chats it brings. Because I know what it is and I know what's going on. Let the motherfuckers hit the grid and you in the middle of New York City and see what happens. How you gonna get over the bridge? When they shut down them islands. Like I said, you couldn't pay me to go to New York City right now. At all. You couldn't pay me to go out there and cover that Diddy trial. All right, I'm even hearing about mass shootings. Because as y'all see, y'all, pay attention. All right, I'm even hearing about allegedly mass shootings going on. Y'all pay attention, y'all. Check it out. If you notice, shout out everybody up in here, everybody in the comment section, man. I appreciate y'all. I do. I see y'all up in here, man. See the whole nation. Have y'all noticed at this Diddy trial, the security is what? The police presence is what? In the basement, right? Pay attention, y'all. That courthouse that trial is being held at, there's no way that any and everyone should be able to walk up and get that close to that building during a time like this. Like I said, man, if y'all pay attention, bro, the security is lacking out there. And it's for a reason. Everybody need to pay attention. The security out there at that Diddy trial is like, you would think it'd be Secret Service agents and all kinds of shit out there, yo. Like I said, for some strange reason, the police presence, the security presence out there at that courthouse is in the basement, yo. In the basement. And they even talked about an alleged mass shooting that might happen in front of this courthouse on the day of this verdict or in the day leading up to the verdict while they're in jury deliberations. Because like I said, man, I find it very odd and very strange that they're letting any and everyone, all kinds of content creators, just come, set up anywhere they want. Y'all have to pay attention. Because the way that they got this Diddy trial open to any and everyone just can walk up literally in front of the courthouse, all around the courthouse. You can set up anywhere you want. It's very odd and very strange, and I never seen this type of activity at a high-profile trial, strategic drop. This ain't no regular trial. This is a high-profile trial with what? High-profile individuals coming in and out of the building. Strategic drop. Okay? This is a high-profile trial with a lot of high-profile people coming in and out of that courthouse, y'all. All right? And the security is not top-notch. Meaning, anybody can run up on them people, yo. Hit the like button, strategic drop. Nobody's paying attention to this. Anybody can run up on them people. Anybody could be standing out there with all kinds of weapons. But nobody is paying attention. All they're worried about is the what? Who could get the coverage first? Who could get there at 3 in the morning first? Like some fucking goofies. And like I said, man, I ain't never see a high-profile trial taking place at a courthouse in New York City, and they're allowing for all these people to come in the vicinity of that courthouse. Because you have to remember, they're supposed to be what? Protecting the courthouse for all kinds of threats, bombs and all that shit. But when you have so many people continuously keep coming up all around and in the courthouse, well, I'm not going to say in the courthouse because you have to go through a lot to actually get inside. All right. I'm even hearing that they're making people sign NDAs. That part that they're not telling y'all. All right. They're making people sign NDAs before they go in that courtroom. And I wonder why. What are they hiding? Yeah, that part. They're going to be mad that I bust their bubble. They're going to be mad that I bust their bubble. And everybody going in that courthouse, they know they signing what? They know I'm not lying. Have y'all heard this, y'all? Shout out everybody in the chat. Have y'all heard that the ones that are going inside of this courthouse is signing NDAs? All right, and whatever they see inside that courthouse, they cannot go back and speak upon. Meaning, ain't no telling what they seeing or ain't no telling what they not seeing in there, right? Hit the like button. Let me say it again. If they're making people sign NDAs, that means it must be something that they don't want you to what? To expose, right? Shout out the whole nation up in here. It must be something inside of that courtroom that you're going to see that they don't want you to go back and speak upon. But what I don't understand is, it's people that claim they've been inside the courtroom and they coming out with all these courtroom stories though, right? Right? I wonder why. Because if you signed an NDA, you ain't supposed to be talking about nothing that's going on inside that courtroom, which means we know what they talking about that's going on inside that courtroom. All right. The ones that made it inside, when they come back out telling us what happened, that shit is scripted. Shout out everybody up in here. That shit is scripted. Because if they made y'all sign NDAs, that means the ones who signed that NDA is not supposed to come back out on a platform or anything or talk about nothing that went on inside that courtroom. Right? But why are content creators so quick to come out of the courtroom to tell the story about what happened inside the courtroom if they sign NDAs? Are y'all understanding? Are y'all keeping up with me? Because if they sign NDAs, they're not supposed to speak on nothing that happened inside of that courtroom. But obviously, they are speaking on what's going on in that courtroom, which leads me to believe that what they're speaking on is scripted, and it's what they're telling them to speak on to keep that narrative going. That's right. Let me say it again. The content creators that made it inside that court, if they made it inside that court, it's exactly what somebody just said. Crisis actors. All right? What Angela just said. Exactly. That's supposed to be confidential. But it makes you think, why are they what? Speaking on it, right? Because allegedly it's what they told them to speak on. It's what they told them to speak on. You notice the ones that's inside that courtroom, y'all, pay attention. Ones like Gene Deal, Tisa Tells, and like I said, man, shout out to them and everything that they got going on, okay? But if it's some holes and some shit, we gonna fill them. No funny shit. Like I said, if it's some holes and some shit, we gonna fill them up. No funny shit. And like I said, all these ones that made it inside the courtroom, now they're starting to shout each other out. Pay attention. You got Gene Deal shouting out Tisa Tells. All right, you got Tisa Tells shouting out Gene Deal, and it's a couple more. Content creators, popular ones, that they made it beyond those courtroom doors, all of a sudden are starting to what? Shout each other out on these platforms all of a sudden. Like I said, they never shouted each other out a day in life, y'all. A day in life. All of a sudden, they inside the courtroom together. They signing these NDAs and shit. All right? Now, everybody a one big happy family, right? Know why? Because they all telling the same narrative. That's what they were told. That's what they were told. As we got Gene Deal telling Tisa Tells' story, and we got Tisa Tells basically telling Gene Deal's story. Pay attention, yo. It's easy. Strategic drop. We got Gene Deal telling Tisa Tells' story, and we got Tisa Tells telling Gene Deal's story, and it go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Right? Right. And like I said, shout out to them and everything that they got going on. But if it's holes in the motherfucking ground, we walk on. We gonna fill them. Straight like that. All right. And it's definitely a whole lot of holes on these grounds that they want us to walk on and walk steady on and expect us to believe. What the fuck we're actually seeing and what we're actually hearing. The P. Diddy deception, y'all. Okay, let me tell y'all who is also behind this big deception. Like I said, this guy right here, was the bodyguard for P. Diddy for many, many years. When P. Diddy started that nasty trafficking bullshit, it was Gene Deal that was right there protecting him. Not only was he a security guard and a personal bodyguard for P. Diddy and Bad Boy, but he also was the chef. And I explained to everybody what a chef is and what a chef does. He was chefing at P. Diddy parties and freak offs. He was also P. Diddy's personal chef. And I got receipts going all the way back to 98 with Gene Deal at these parties. He's a full-blown chef and he's serving the drinks. The drinks. The infamous drinks that everybody said was getting spiked. How this Ciroc was getting spiked and how all the drinks in the party was getting spiked. And I tried to tell everybody what a chef does. A chef does what? prepare the meals and prepare the drinks. Prepare the meal and prepare the drink. But everybody think it's a game. Everybody think it's a game. Ain't no game. Like I said, the attack on the U.S. power grid is on the horizon, y'all. All right? And everybody, all my fire starters, hawkers, walkers, and stalkers, everybody that's out there, man. Now, I mean, I just wanted to come here live today and bring some very informative information to y'all, okay? Because if y'all don't know about survival tactics, please get informed. Please get informed. Because you have to remember, y'all, when they hit the grid, everything shuts down. Ain't no, oh, let me make one more phone call. Let me do one more text. Damn, let me charge my phone for 1 second. Ain't no more, none of that shit. All communication and everything dropped. Nobody has landline phones anymore. They made sure of that. They made sure they got rid of the landline phone. All right? I was looking at the graphs the other day, man, and they are now saying it's 95% of Americans who do not have landline phones in their house anymore. 95% of Americans. All right? When just in 2001, all right, 97% of Americans had landline phones. Now it's 95% of Americans without landline phones. And like I said, man, once this grid hit, all right, it's going to be catastrophic for a lot of people, man. All right, and I feel for all the elderly folk. The Most High, my God, the positive one, please watch over and protect them. All right, the ones who are not able to maneuver, the ones who are not able to breathe on their own, they need breathing machines. They need what? Power and electricity in order for these things to work and cooperate properly with their body. It's the website out. It's a few of them out. Okay, they have a lot of advice on survival tactics and how to get prepared for such an attack. And the things that we all should be having on our persons. Now, I done talked about this. Shout out everybody in here. I done talked about this on my live a few times in the past, man. Angela know, Beverly know, Smitty know. There's a few others that know. This is not the first time I have reached or touched on this. All right, medical supply. Let me tell you the most important thing. Water and medical supplies is a must, ladies and gentlemen. Antibiotics. If you have any antibiotics, man, listen here, bro. I take this real seriously. What I'm doing right now, this is a public service announcement. Everybody could be blinded, deaf, dumb, and blind by that Diddy shit and everything else that's going on, but I'm wide awoke over this bitch, bro. All right, they can't put me in the trick bag. They can't put me in the trick bag. All right, I know when they're trying to distract. And like I say, there's major distractions going on at one time. Y'all have any old antibiotics that's been sitting in the cabinet from the last prescriptions that was filled? Do not throw those antibiotics away. Keep those antibiotics, as those will be the most important thing to mankind when this shit pop off. All right, antibiotics will be a must. So everybody that's out there, like I said, this is what makes me so different and so special about what we do over here, man. All right, because we talk about real life matters that make real life sense as well. And like I said, the most important commodity that you can have during this situation, all right, is medical supplies and water. Most importantly, antibiotic. Antibiotic will be like gold during these times. You will have people that will cut your fucking head off for antibiotics. You will have people that will cut your damn head off for a bottle of water. It will get crazy. Shout out everybody up in here. Alcohol, peroxide, and let me tell you again, travel light as possible. All right? Travel light as possible. If it comes down to the situation that I'm talking about, all right, y'all will have to travel light as possible. Meaning, limit the things you have on your person because you're going to have to constantly be moving around. You cannot be stationed at a time like this because you have people that will be what? Hunting and preying on you at all times. The shit that they showed us in some of these sitcoms and in some of these series, you know what I mean? That's the type of times that the American people is going to endure, all right? That lead the world behind shit, type shit. Travel with less things as possible, but with the most important thing. Like I said, if you have so much on your person and so many bags and this and that, you're not going to be able to maneuver the way that you need to maneuver. You're going to have to stay on your feet. Real life Mad Max. It will be a purge for real. Yes, survival tactics will be needed. It will be a must. It will be a must. All right, now they have all kinds of kits. They have all kinds of survival tactical gear and things like that. You know what I'm saying? To get you prepared for what is possibly on the horizon. And like I said, man, everybody think it's a joke. They think it's a game because this P. Diddy situation got them distracted, man. All right, and it was P. Diddy who told us first what was going to happen with the grid through his album. See something here. Off the grid, right? See this, right? Not using or depending on public utilities, especially the supply of electricity. Off the grid, right? Hold on. Y'all see that right in front of our face? And you know what else we see right in front of our face? Who told us? Remember, when you put in off the grid in Google, this is what pop up. So tell me, why did P. Diddy name this album Off the Grid if it has nothing to do with what I just showed y'all? Strategic drop. Let me say it again. Like I said, I ain't in no rush to break down or dismantle my facts. Let me say it again. You go to Google, it tells you, it shows you what off the grid means, right? So if it's telling us what off the grid stands for, why did P. Diddy name his album Off the Grid if it has nothing to do with none of these things that's on this screen? And like I said, in the midst of all this, listen, we're getting reports right now as we speak, dropping every day while everybody is distracted by the Diddy shit. Look at that date. Look at that time. I got this notification 6 a.m. this morning because I'm trying to be prepared as much as possible. So I got my notifications set on particular topics and things like that come through the algorithm, all right? Particularly things that's going on with the grid. And look, what do you know? Early this morning, 6 a.m. But the people in America, when they cut their phones on and they cut their TVs on, what's going to come through their algorithm? 9 times out of 10, if that's what they watching, The Diddy trial, right? They won't get none of this through their phone. They won't get none of this coming through their algorithm because the data on your phone know what you're watching, what you're streaming at all times, what you're reading at all times. So when you pick your phone up, it's going to make sure this don't come through your algorithm. It's going to make sure to continue to flood every platform that you engage in with the Diddy shit. It's going to make sure that. It's going to make sure that. Y'all, tell me if I'm lying or not. Everybody who's been watching this P. Diddy trial in some kind of way, tell me every platform that y'all go to, every platform that y'all go to, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. Do P. Diddy and that trial come through your timeline or not? Even when you ain't looking for it. Even when you ain't looking for it, it's coming right up. Boom. You know what else is coming up? The Tory Lanez shit. Boom. Megan Thee Stallion. You know what else is coming up? Motherfuckers in New Orleans. The light-skinned dude with all the tattoos on his face and shit, right? Boom. I can guarantee you 99.9% of the people that are watching that Diddy trial, this has not came through their algorithm at all. At all. Now, I'm going to ask everybody in the chat. So I know some of y'all have been watching this Diddy trial. And some people have been, you know what I mean, covering it for their own personal reasons. But had this came through your algorithm, warning us or warning you about the grid attacks, right? Let me tell y'all something else. All right? Strategic with it. Their platforms like Say Cheese, The Shade Room, Hip Hop Uncensored, all them fucking social media pages that's all on Instagram. All right, they've been shadow banned not to post this content. Hit the like button. All those platforms I just named, and I'm quite sure y'all know more because we know the demographic that they what? Reaching. We know the demographic that they're after, right? So you go to any one of them platforms, like I just said, Say Cheese, The Shade Room, Hip Hop this, Hip Hop that, all them fucking Instagram social media pages, and not one is talking about the grid attack. Why? Why? But they could talk about a motherfucker that got shot in their face. But they could talk about a motherfucker who got caught cheating. Walking in the house, a man catch his girl cheating and all this weirdo shit. Right? But they cannot inform us about the grids is about to be under attack and what the people should do and how to get prepared for it. You know why? Because they don't want it to reach our demographic as they are using the Diddy trial, the New Orleans prison escapee situation, the Tory Lanez situation to distract the demographic. Strategic drop, yo. I know what's going on. And this is why we don't see these type of posters coming through the platforms that we depend on to what? Another strategic drop. Why this news ain't coming through the platforms that we are depending on to give us this type of news? You know why? You know why? Because they done fucking conditioned us to only get the negative shit from our own culture. That's why. That's why. And everybody in the demographic hitting the motherfucking heart button, hitting the like button, hitting the heart button, hitting the like button, hitting the heart button, hitting the like button. But the Shade Room, Say Cheese, and many more have been posting nothing but the distraction that they want them to post, y'all. And they've been doing it. They've been doing it. Like I said, those platforms are not allowed to keep us updated on what's going on because they want us distracted. Their job on those platforms is to keep what? Keep us focused on Diddy, Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, NBA Youngboy, and all that other weirdo man shit. All right? Straight like that. Because I don't see how. Today is June 4th, right? Like I said, man, this information has been going crazy over the past couple of weeks about this cyber attack on this grid, bro. And like I said, out of all these distractions, like I said, they got the Diddy shit, the Tory Lanez shit, the New Orleans prisoners escape, and TMZ even went out their way. TMZ and some high, powerful people went out their way, all right, and distribute, all right, distribute this very, very lucrative documentary that they put a lot of money into, yo. All right, talking about it's a goddamn fifth plane. Talking about it was a fifth plane on 9/11, and we know goddamn well it wasn't no fifth plane. Why out of all people, like I said, how, and why would TMZ say, look, what the government doesn't want you to know? When we know for a fact TMZ been covering up and hiding shit right along with the government for years. For years. For years. So all of a sudden, TMZ and the government is ops now, right? Hit the like button. All of a sudden, TMZ is the opposition of the government, right? Right? Like I said, with this new documentary that just was dropped on Memorial Day, strategic drop. Why would they drop this on Memorial Day, y'all? Memorial Day is the day that the country celebrates all the what? Fallen soldiers, right? Strategic drop. Pay attention. Memorial Day is the day. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I appreciate y'all. What's up, Amon? Amon Rob, what's up? Check it out. Out of all days, they drop 9/11, the fifth plane. Now available on YouTube. on Memorial Day, which is the day America celebrates all the fallen soldiers and all the fallen heroes, right? And also we know 9/11 created a lot more what? Fallen soldiers and fallen heroes, right? Right? You see, y'all, pay attention to the fuckery. Pay attention to the mockery, because we all know the country went to war over this situation. 9/11, right? So on the day that America is celebrating the loss of all the fallen soldiers and heroes, they strategically released a documentary about 9/11 and the fifth plane, which proved this was done at a strategic rate because they already had this already filmed, edited, and ready to go, y'all. They already had it filmed, edited, and ready to go. Shout out everybody up in here, man. What y'all think about this situation here? What y'all think about this? Like I said, man, I'm hearing from some very reliable sources. Very reliable sources that this grid attack is going to take place, all right, in the midst of this Diddy trial. I got some resources saying in the middle of deliberations. I got some reliable resources are saying when the verdict comes in. I am also hearing that allegedly it's supposed to be some type of mass shooting that's supposed to take place at that courthouse. And like I said, I find it very odd and very strange that the security is very, very, very lenient at that courthouse for it to be such a high profile situation. Like I said, man, I have never seen anything like this in my life. Check it out. For example, when we make real life matters make real life sense, right? When, check this out. Now, when Young Thug, just for example, and I could do Young Thug, Michael Jackson, O.J. Simpson, we could go on and on. All right. When these trials were taking place, did y'all see anybody gathered up outside of that courthouse? Content creators, any of that shit out there? Did anybody see any type of activity like we're seeing now with this Diddy trial in the middle of New York City? Were we seeing that same energy and same activity when it came to these other trials? No, let's see what happened when Lil Durk go to trial. Hit the like button. Strategic drop. Let's see what happens when Lil Durk go to trial, y'all. And let's see if they allow the public all in front of the federal courthouse in Los Angeles, content creators and everything. Let's see if they allow content creators inside the courthouse. Let's see. Let's see. What about YNW Melly? Strategic drop. I keep coming. I keep coming. It don't matter. It could be state or Fed. And we know Fed got more what? Restrictions, right? Federal got more restrictions, right? So how the fuck is everybody outside this courthouse the way that they are? And there is like no homeland security. And I say homeland security for the simple reason there's some very high profile individuals out there. Very high profile individuals that's coming and going, coming and going. And if you look at the security, it's very, very lenient, yo. Why we ain't got nobody inside the YNW Melly courthouse? Why ain't nobody covering that? Why ain't no content creators outside covering that shit? Right? You see, we make it make sense all the way around because this shit that's going on with Diddy in that courthouse is a strategic move and a distraction. That's why. There's no way in the world they're going to allow everybody to stand around that federal courthouse like that. You might stand across the street or down the block some fucking where, but y'all ain't gonna be all that close surrounding that federal courthouse like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Because it's supposed to be a whole perimeter set up where as though you can't even get a certain feet within that building. And and like I said, yo, something very odd and strange is going on. And that's a main reason why I have not went to that Diddy trial, and I don't plan on going to that Diddy trial at all. Because something ain't right with that. What y'all think, yo? You see, they've been distracting us with so much shit. Everybody is forgetting about real life matters and real life sense. We so caught up in this social media meta world, we forgetting about how real life shit go. You see what I'm saying? And we know in goddamn real life, shit don't go like that. All of a sudden, for this Diddy trial, they allowing it, right? Okay. Like I said, we got people like Al B. Shore, Gene Deal, okay, the Coen twins, his sons, his daughters, his mama, and all these other high-profile individuals coming in and out of this courtroom, bro. Anybody can run up on these people at any given time. Anybody can run up on these people. I ain't never seen so many regular people get so close to my life. Even when individuals are coming to even when these type of individuals show up at events, y'all, all right, they will have like some type of barrier, whereas though the public is not allowed, all right, in a certain area. But you can see the public is allowed any goddamn where they want to be. Soon as the Sprinter van open up, everybody right there, all right, anybody can have a weapon on them or anything. Like I said, this is a strategic move and a major distraction, all right, for something crazy that is yet to come. Okay, because like I said, with all these accusations that P. Diddy done had against him, y'all, We know how emotional, we know how emotional this situation can be. We know how people would react. Okay, yeah, can't get the Diddy. Like I said, we don't want nothing to happen to anybody, but I'm just speaking real life sense. All right, when someone is in arm reach of P. Diddy's daughter and they got a problem with Diddy, everybody ain't in their right mind, bro. Motherfucker walk up and smack the shit out the daughter. Somebody can walk up and cause any one of them people harm easily. And I'm just keeping it real. And I feel as though they got it set up like that for those purposes. Shout out everybody up in here. Shout out the whole nation up in here, man. Zero Homeland Security. All right, but didn't Homeland Security do the raid? Strategic drop. Didn't Homeland Security do the raid? Right? Exactly my point. And that's what I'm saying. No Homeland Security or nothing out there. No type of perimeter setup or anything. Or anything. Like I said, man, if keeping it real, bro. All right. If y'all want some smoke with a content creator that y'all don't like and y'all can't stand, go to the federal courthouse. That part. That part. That part. Because ain't nobody there to protect them. Ain't nobody there to protect them. Right? Right? Why would they even want to put themselves in danger? Why would they even want to put themselves in harm's way? So if somebody run up on them, all right, and bing, bong, boom, boom, you know what it is. Y'all know who out there, all right? Whose fault would that be? Whose fault would that be? That'd be that content creator's fault, right? Come out here at your own fucking risk, right? Right. But everybody trying to get likes, clicks, and fucking views. Not worried about their safety at all. Ain't worried about their safety out there at all, y'all. It's crazy. They lacking like a motherfucker out there. They lacking like a motherfucker out there. Niggas know hotel rooms and all that shit. Crazy. Crazy. They really, really lacking out there. They ain't got no business out here. Shout out everybody up in here. They ain't got no business out here in New York City covering shit, especially if you ain't from here and you ain't familiar with what the fuck is going on up here. How are they affording to go there and stay in them hotel rooms? That's a good question. That's a good question. And I got some receipts and some answers for that. Like I said, when I was talking earlier, when I mentioned earlier in my live that they made what? Content creators sign NDAs. They made people sign NDAs that's going inside that courthouse. And all of a sudden, these certain content creators that went inside or that was allowed inside of the courthouse, all of a sudden they started mentioning each other's names on platforms. Like I said, you started to hear Gene Deal, shout out Tisa Tells, and Tisa Tells, shout out Gene Deal. And then if y'all pay attention, you started hearing Tisa Tells tell the exact same story that Gene Deal was breaking down. And then you hear Gene Deal telling the exact same story that Tisa was breaking down, which proves, okay, that this narration was strategically set up. This narration that these content creators are going with, all right, proves that they are pushing the same exact narrator. The same exact narration, y'all. The same exact narrator. And how are they affording those hotel rooms up there? And like I said, that's a very good question, because just like I said, if they signing all these NDAs and they're behind the scene working together to make sure this narrator, the narrator that they want out to continue to distract the people, I'm quite sure that they'll pay for their hotel rooms too. Because if you look up, they have organizations that hire these type of people, crisis actors and things like that. Now, they'll pay for your room. They'll pay for it all. But rooms in New York City are very high and very expensive. Not saying ones can't afford it, okay? But for a content creator to be up here and don't know how long they're going to be up here and spending that amount of money on the stay up here, because listen, it ain't cheap to stay in New York City at all. It ain't cheap to stay in New York City at all, yo. By a long shot. Okay, so it goes to show you somebody got to be helping paying their way. Shout out everybody up in here. Somebody got to be helping and paying their way. Faking like each other, then get on their platforms and talk about each other like dogs and not giving good information at all. Right. Everything is all rebutted and what? Regurgitated. That's it. Ain't nowhere in the world make it make sense. I'm going to travel halfway across the damn country just to stand in front of a courthouse every day. Like, come on, yo. I'm going to waste all this money on food, hotel rooms, and all this shit just to stand in front of a courthouse every day? Man, you crazy as fuck. What's wrong with these motherfuckers, yo? Facts. Facts. What about your own expenses back home, right? All right, so let me put this up And I decided to grab this because they are blocking this video in the algorithm, man. So I wanted to play this, yo. Hit the like button, drop your fire and TVs in the chat, man.
2013, a Silicon Valley electrical substation came under rifle fire in a coordinated and well-planned attack, causing millions in damages and nearly taking out power to Google, Facebook, Microsoft, and Intel. In the 10 years since that attack, no culprit has been found. Was it terrorism or vandalism? We still don't know. Now, a new wave is targeting America's electrical grid. On December 3rd, 2 North Carolina substations were shot at, knocking out power to 40,000 homes and businesses. Then on Christmas Day, 4 substations were vandalized in Washington state.
All 3 happened in the middle of the night on Christmas Day, causing power outages. There's a good possibility they are related. We're going to be investigating to see if this was coordinated by a specific group or people.
While authorities search for suspects, what they really need are answers.
We are aware of other incidents that occurred in Oregon and southern Washington, as well as the incidents from North Carolina earlier in this wintertime. We're going to see if any of this stuff is related to that.
There are almost 79,000 of these electrical power substations all across the United States, connecting nearly 500,000 miles of power lines in 3 big power grids. Now, when these things were built, there wasn't much thought given to security, so most of them look about like this one, a rusty old gate and a chain link fence, safeguarding millions of dollars worth of equipment just inside there, like those ultra high voltage transformers over there, which are all custom built. That means that if they get destroyed, it might take up to a year to replace them. And that's causing the authorities to start to see this as a real threat to our national security.
20 years ago, I was on a task force with Homeland Security as part of the Secretary's office, and we were looking at exactly what's happening today, and unfortunately, it's gotten worse since then.
The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has called on local power co-ops to conduct a security evaluation of all substations by the end of April, and will then make recommendations on how to better secure America's power supply. But it's a daunting task.
We've got a bunch of enemies now that hate this country, and some are internal. So it should cause us to go, hey, well, wait a minute now. We need to really look at hardening up our grids.
The 2013 attacks in California cost Pacific Gas and Electric more than $150 million for security upgrades. So fixing this problem won't be cheap. The infrastructure law passed last year includes $15 billion to upgrade and strengthen the power grid. But some energy experts estimate it would cost as much as $5 trillion to modernize and upgrade protection of the country's electric system.
We definitely need to.
Okay, so did you hear what they said when they built these infrastructures on these grids with no security at all? Which I feel as though they did it on purpose. They did that on purpose, y'all. They said when they built those grids, they built it with no security aspect in mind. Nothing to protect or guard or keep the grid safe from the outside, which proves this is a strategic plan, bro. A strategic plan. Because why wouldn't they secure those grids? Why wouldn't they secure those grids knowing how important and how vulnerable the country is if someone was to hit those grids? Why they're not secure the way they should be secure? Right? They're talking about, peep the game, y'all. This is crazy. They're talking about building walls for the border. But they ain't even got no walls built around the goddamn grid. Anybody could just walk up to the motherfucker and do whatever they want to them. Let me say it again. This country has been complaining about the walls and how the border ain't safe. Our goddamn grid's not safe. Our grid's not safe. And you heard what the man said. It's people that hate the U.S. Even some who live here. They already oppositions. And they've been here for years, helping planning this attack. This is how distracted we are. Now, how many of us actually knew that these grids wasn't protected? All right, drop a 1 in the chat if you didn't know they was protected, or drop a 2 in the chat if you thought they were protected. Because majority of the American people believe that these grids are protected, and they're not. They're not protected at all. And like I said, they're spending all this money trying to protect the border. All that shit that we was going through all these years trying to get money to add more what? Security to the border just for them to let them all in. They just let all the immigrants in. You see the games they play? Peep the game though. All them years, they was talking about the border this, the border that. We need more what? Border security. We need more walls on the border, right? Next thing you know, they let all the immigrants in. Gave them all the food stamps. Gave them all the jobs. Gave them a pass to sit in front of Lowe's, Home Depot, and all that shit. So if y'all was going to let them in, what was the push for more security at the border for? Make it make sense, because I do. If y'all was just going to open the fucking door and let them in any fucking way and give them all of our resources and all of our fucking jobs, why y'all waste so much fucking money on border security? Because y'all full of shit. And this is the games that they're playing. Like I said, they tell us trillions of dollars to protect the border, but they won't even put in millions of dollars to protect the grid infrastructure of an attack. Now tell me, who making sense over this motherfucker? Crazy work. Crazy, crazy work. All by design. Red flags all day. Yes. When they talk about our borders wide open, our damn grids is wide open. Not only are they wide open physically, they wide open digitally too, virtually too. All right, and that's how they gonna tear this motherfucker up. That's how they gonna tear this motherfucker up. Digitally, virtually. As they talking about hackers hacking in the system. As they already talking about oppositions as well that's already working for these type of companies. Oppositions now already working for these type of companies. Remember, like I said, when they just let all them individuals in, they don't know who's who or what's what. The U.S. budget deficit is going to be over $2 trillion per year going forward, 100 billion per month in interest on the national debt. Wow, 1.2 trillion per year. Crazy work, y'all. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. So I just wanted to drop in today and give y'all my take on this and what's going on. Because a lot of people are distracted and they know who to distract. Just like the Larry Hoover situation. Like I said, bro, they know how to distract as they're using our own culture against us to distract us. They're using our own culture to humiliate, distract, and self-destruct. Now, I don't know who the hell actually thought Larry Hoover was coming home. All right? Because everybody in their right fucking mind should have known that man was not getting out of jail. All right? And for all you slow motherfuckers, y'all got it broken down real illa, real quick. Wasn't it? Larry Hoover free. Larry Hoover free. He's coming home. He's free. That goes to show you how dumbed down society is. That goes to show you how dumbed down some of these people that we follow are. We seen them. It goes to show you if they ever was to get caught up in a real serious legal situation, they won't know the law either. The law will hang their ass each and every way they want to, just because you have no education. You haven't educated yourself on the law, but you want to break the law. Okay, all these motherfuckers in Chicago, y'all. Larry Hoover, yeah, Larry Hoover. They're having block parties and shit. They're having block parties and all kinds of shit. Larry Hoover coming home, yeah, Larry Hoover, yeah. All these motherfuckers doing all these crimes, killing all these black folks, and don't even know the goddamn law. Ain't that something? Chicago is the what? Drill capital of the world, you might as well say. You mean to tell me the drill capital of the world actually thought Larry Hoover was coming home? Yo, them people just embarrassed us even more. They just embarrassed us even more. And they just highlighted how dumb our people are. Literally just highlighted how dumb our people are. What y'all think about this live today, man? Anybody got any questions about what I broke down today? Survival instincts, survival tactics. It's a must during the time of this major distraction. Plenty of medical supplies. If the grid was to ever hit, or something was to happen with the grid, let's try to be prepared as much as possible, y'all. As much as possible, you know, always keep your phone charged up, you know, have an extra battery pack, which I don't even think that shit won't even matter. It won't even matter. I'm talking about keep your phone charged up. Man, that shit won't even matter. Your phone could be on 100. It could be on 100%. You won't be able to call in. You won't be able to call out at all. Won't be no internet. But the most valuable thing that you can have at a time like this is not no phone. That would be the least valuable thing. The most valuable thing that you'll be able to have during a time like this is medical supplies and water. Medical supplies and water. Antibiotic, Pacific. All right. If you have any other type of health underlying issues, you know, if anybody's on like oxygen tanks and things like that, man, you know, make sure you keep your oxygen tank charged up. Have an extra battery pack for those situations. And carry as less things as possible. Carry less things as possible. Jay Prince, he trying to hide. Jay Prince trying to hide. Jay Prince trying to hide, yo. He bought that island out there in Belize, yo. That's where he at right now. He's not in America because something is brewing in Texas. I explained that to everybody. Something definitely is brewing in Texas, and Check it out. Hold on here. Yeah, something is definitely brewing with the situation that's going on down there in Texas, man. Jay Prince Jr. just bought this island out in Belize. And I try to explain to everybody why these goddamn high-profile individuals so infatuated with these islands. Why they so infatuated with their own personal and private islands. Well, anyway, that's where Jay Prince trying to duck some smoke at, because it's a big, like I explained to y'all a couple months ago, it's a big Texas RICO that's going to come through that pipeline. Is going to sweep a lot of motherfuckers up. Not only is he going to sweep a lot of individuals up, y'all, New Dallas, let me break something down here. And I'm going to be coming back tonight. Give everybody that content that they've been waiting on. You know, it's a bag on Say Cheese head, y'all. It's a bag on Say Cheese head from the individuals over there at New Dallas. Hit the like button, strategic drop. And we're going to get all into it tonight. Hit the like button. We're going to turn it back up. We're going to turn it back up as I'm giving y'all a sneak peek of what GFTV is working on the back end as I bring content and nobody dropping. And if I do, it's coming from a whole different angle with nothing but receipts. And that's all we got, nothing but receipts. As the individuals that's associated with the New Dallas movement got a bag on Say Cheese head, y'all, Sean Kite. All right? And if you notice, as I strategically drop nothing but facts, you notice y'all ain't see no new artists, no New Dallas artists on Say Cheese platform yet. Hit the like button, strategic drop. And I got some receipts of a couple of New Dallas artists dissing Go Yayo, because he out here sneak dissing and he out here trying to fuck up the city and all that shit, trying to fuck up with the Texas. I mean, what everybody in Texas got going on right now. Yeah. So if y'all notice, nobody from New Dallas has been on Say Cheese platform to do no interviews or promote their music or promote they self, right? I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why. Let me tell you why. All right? Because there's a lot of motherfuckers over there at New Dallas that feel some type of way that Go Yayo and Say Cheese putting all the coal in the locomotive, keeping the fucking train going. as we got Go Yayo going to multiple platforms, dissing all these Texas artists, right? And we know that the new Dallas movement and the new Dallas wave, it's about bringing everybody together, right? As I strategically drop nothing but bombs on you. We know the new Dallas movement was created to bring everybody together, right? But it's a few individuals, actually a lot of individuals within that whole new Dallas movement that's not feeling Go Yayo and they're not feeling Say Cheese. And that's why they haven't been on Say Cheese platform. And they already said, and I got the receipts, all right? If you ain't representing positivity, if you ain't for growth, if you ain't elevating, you on all these interviews talking all this and all that, but you ain't never elevating. We know who he talking about. Talking about Go Yayo, man. All right, and we're gonna break all that down, man. It's some shit going on in Dallas. Some shit going on down there, man. Some shit going on down there, all right? Ain't nobody paying attention to it, but I am. All right, and like I said, have y'all seen any new Dallas artists on Say Cheese platform yet? Why wouldn't they be on Say Cheese platform? Right there, Dallas, right? Everybody else, right? Everybody else that came before this new Dallas movement was on there, right? I'm not talking about Yellow. I'm not talking about Trap. We talking about Zillionaire. We're talking about Montana 600. We're talking about YTB. And a few more other individuals. All right? And ain't nobody paying attention. That's why I say Cheese platform taking a hit. Because he can't get these new artists to come on his platform. All right? The hottest thing he got going is Charleston White, and he done fucked up with the Go Yayo. Now, motherfuckers don't even want to come on his platform because Go Yayo done fucked it up. That's why he tried to sneak back and go back and get Charleston White after he shitted on Charleston White for Go Yayo. But once he seen the Go Yayo ain't do the numbers, then he went back to Charleston White. Charleston White, man, I don't mean no harm, bro. If you hear me, bro, get your own platform. You don't need these niggas. Get your own platform, okay? They give you crumbs. And those crumbs is a lot to you because you must ain't got much. And this ain't a shot at you. I fuck with you, Charleston White, but you know you getting crumbs. You know you getting crumbs. You know you getting crumbs. Why get crumbs when you can have the whole cake? Because you is the whole pie, my nigga. You is the whole pie. And that's why I say Cheese came back and got you. Shout out to Charles White, everything he got going on over there, man. Like, share, subscribe, man. I appreciate y'all, everybody that's coming up in here, man. Everybody who joined me today, man. Let's go. What's up with you? I see you up in here. Indian Summer. Seen somebody else up in here, man. I ain't want to forget him. KC Masterpiece, what's up? Blessed be, what's up with you? Excedrin, what's good? Terrain, what's up? Yo, what y'all think, man? I think I'm going to ask y'all, man. I'm going to see what the 5 starters got to say, man. Y'all think God Fear TV should do reaction videos, man? Do y'all think God Fear TV should do reaction videos? Do y'all think this platform will do well with reactions from GFTV narrations? Also, with me doing reactions, the channel and the algorithm will see a lot more of GFTV with reactions. Excedrin say yes. Bet. Yeah, it did great with the Julio sector. Riddler, what's up? All right, man. We about to close out, man. Keep your notification bell turned all the way up, man. Tonight, man, we coming back with some strategic information, man. Some strategic receipts about what's going on with Say Cheese and the New Dollars movement, bruh, and how Say Cheese, bruh. Let me tell you, there's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, and it's a lot of people that's involved with that New Dollars movement that is not feeling Say Cheese, and they is not feeling the things that he is doing with this Go Yayo situation, man. So y'all keep y'all notification bells turned all the way up. Like, share, subscribe. Always remember, fear the fire, fear the flames. Thank you, my moderators. Thank you, all my members, everybody that held me down in the comment section today, man. I appreciate y'all. Angie, Beverly, Smitty G, Jazzy, and the whole rest of the nation, man. All my members too. Shout out Angie for the super sticker, super chat, man. Always remember, fear the fire, fear the flames. We out of here, man. We out of here. We out. We out.
Fear the fire.